Hey everybody, TacticAngel here, back on the PlayStation 4, playing some World of Warships Legends. We're on Ring. I will go ahead and show my commander up in the left-hand corner of the screen, and then we'll get right into this. So this is a replay of the Grasse. We've seen a lot of the Grasse, and I was not planning on doing a video about this, but this is a special game, if for no other reason than for me. And I kind of wondered how I wanted to talk about this, so we're just going to talk about it like it's any other game. The Grasse. We're on Ring. We're rolling out towards A. Our hope is to support those two destroyers that are also going up there, and hopefully we'll be able to grab that away from the enemy. I think Ring is a pretty well balanced sort of map, so that usually one team will be able to capture A and the other will capture D, and it seems to go almost 50-50 in terms of whether it's your team that's able to get A or D regardless of which side you actually start on. So now we're starting to get close enough that we see people. We start the game off with a proud TacticAngel tradition of a poorly aimed shot that doesn't fall really all that close to the ship at all. We do see a T-22, and with our HE loaded, obviously the Grasse does a really good job of punishing destroyers for being seen. And now I'm kind of slowing down a little bit behind this island because I don't want to pop out in front of everyone. I want to try to pop out only in front of one or two boats at a time. Obviously, if I pop out in front of like 3 or 4, that might encourage a lot more firepower to be thrown in my direction. So we are going to make the Omaha our first target. He has got somebody else in mind. I land a pretty big hit with the HE. Now we're switching over to the AP because he's reasonably broadside. Decent damage, but nothing too special there. He's actually a little too angled here that I don't think I'm going to get a big hit, but I actually land 3 citadels. Ridiculous. And we finish him off with a shot that's just barely aimed well enough to still hit him. So now we got an enemy Nuremberg. We've already managed to miss him a couple times in this game. We don't miss him this time, and really he's close enough that I should not be missing a lot of these shots. With him perfectly broadside like that, we are able to punch his citadel pretty easily. Now it looks like he's thinking he doesn't want to be here, so I imagine he'll turn around. This would have been a really good shot to have used HE on, but such is life. The next shot will be a good shot to use AP on. Nothing too tremendous there, but he should be dead here in just a second. And as someone pointed out, cool guys don't look at explosions, so we don't even watch our shells in there. He was going to die whether or not I killed him, so we now realize that there are 3 ships in front of us. All 3 of them are probably thinking I'm the best target. And let's go ahead and let's remove ourselves from that position. We have managed to push actually beyond A without actually getting it, so now in hiding I'm going to try to actually capture this base. I am hoping that those 2 destroyers do the same, because that'll make it take less time. And really all they need to do is just like kind of sit still in here and not shoot their guns. And it should work out just fine, right? Looked like somebody was anticipating that I would be coming around that corner. No, sir, I am not that brave. But, thank you. We're just really trying to stay out of line of sight so that we can, you know, live these last few seconds before anybody shoots us and takes away all of our hard-earned capture points. They end up shooting a destroyer who got a little bit too close. Islands can also work to destroyer's disadvantages, and there we see the murderer himself. We put a big hit in on the T-22. I think that's probably the same one that we took the first half of his life away early in the game, and we managed to finish him off. So my choices now are continue to push on this side, where I'm going to have to go up against a New York, which I don't really want to fight at this kind of range. And he's got with him that V-170. Now, the only nice thing is that this V-170 is keen on shooting at me, which might not be in his best interest, but we decide we're going to go ahead, shoot this island, and leave. I'm going to ask this other destroyer that's with me, why don't we fall back? He's not going to listen to me. But once again, I'm not his boss. It's only a kind suggestion, but we are about to get squished by this New Mexico. And then we'll be stuck between a New Mexico and a New York, and that's not going to work out. So we throw on the speed. And at this point, what I'm thinking is, if they've got, people cutting over from the other side, maybe we can get around to D. At least keep the captures up. I'm using the shell follow view to kind of look at where those torpedoes are going. Obviously, they didn't line up with where the ship was going. They're lined up with where the ship had to go. Fortunately, he runs himself aground, and I managed to land 2 of the 3 torpedoes that I more or less fired without a target. Of course, back on the other side, the enemy team has cut over, and now they're thinking they're going to capture my base. And no thank you, sir. So once again, we've got a T-22. We've already proven we can do a pretty significant amount of damage. And somewhere in there, we earn our high caliber. We've also got a Nuremberg. For whatever reason, I momentarily forget how to shoot. Now I remember. You want to shoot at the ship, maybe lead it just a little bit. I've got AP loaded now as he continues to show more and more broadside. That hurts. Earn our Confederate. Momentarily forget how to shoot again. And this next one ought to be pretty good because I'm getting to the point where the ranges are so close it's hard to miss. As we finish him off, that's our 5th kill, which is really good. Really good. But I'm looking behind me. I'm still thinking if I can push over to D, we can get D and then maybe win on points. We're barely holding on in terms of, 3-on-3 in terms of total ships. That V-170 is playing very aggressive though, and he's riding out to try to meet that other cruiser. I put some shells out there that looked a lot better aimed when I shot them than after that guy maneuvered. Looks like this New York is probably willing to follow me, and maybe that's because he's 90% dead. I'm still doing pretty okay. With 21,000 hit points, that's, about 2/3 of what we started out with. So, we certainly put out a lot of hurt, but we haven't had too much of that returned to us. And though we do have 5 kills, we have contributed significantly to all of those kills. So, we're not running around kill-stealing people specifically. In any case, you can see neither of my teammates are in the same kind of hit point condition that I'm in. So this is some long-range gunnery on the New York. I do not lead him nearly enough at first. Our second salvo is going to be much better. We have a pretty decent idea. He's going about max speed. And usually I like to lead those around 4 ticks. For those slow battleships. We managed to get a fire and that's great because that's free damage for us. We're going to need all the help we can get if we're going to win this. As you see, we're down to just the 2 ships. Me and this gravely injured New York. As I continue to put shells out on that enemy New York, obviously I've launched a spotter aircraft to help with this. I think, unfortunately, the person who's actually spotting for me is our New York, because there seem to be a lot of shells coming out of that area from both the New Mexico and the New York. I thought that New York actually nosed in quite a bit more to get closer to the island to stop this sort of fiery rain, but apparently I was wrong. He does burn to death anyway. And now we've just got the New Mexico and probably that V-170 still. Now I don't see the V-170, but in a second it's going to be apparent just where he is. I'm really hoping that my spotter aircraft picks somebody up, because I lost my spot. Oh, yes, that's because my teammate is dead. And obviously their destroyer has moved into A. The point game is not going to work out for us. TacticAngel, you're going to need to turn around. You're going to need to fight. Before we do that, we are going to try to sneak in some extra damage, maybe set a fire here, because if we can do that while we're dealing with the destroyer, then we're going to be faced with a New Mexico with a lot less hit points. There we follow our shells in again. Those were not so good, but it's kind of hard to adjust to what your opponents are doing sometimes when you can't see them. We go ahead and throw on the speed again because this game is counting down. We're in the 2 minutes and 40-second range in terms of how much time is left. So I don't really have a lot of time to kind of... I don't have time to take my time. I have to get in there. I have to make a difference here. It looks like that New Mexico does continue to burn, which is nice. I think he must put his fire out just as I said that to make me look bad. Now this V-170 is, as long as I don't drive into one of his torpedoes, I should be okay, because I can pretty well shoot him to bits. So we sail around those. Luckily we don't get hit too hard by the New Mexico. Puts one through my bow, amongst other things. But I think he got mostly superstructure, nothing too critical there. Now I've set 2 fires on him. He can't put them out because I think he just used his damage control before he came around that mountain to make me look bad in my own video. Jeez. So what I was trying to do there, and what I'm going to do here in just a second, is shoot the back of his ship to see if I can get that on fire. If I can get him on fire 3 times, then that means there's less ship for me to deal with. But we're closing in on only 1 minute left, which means we're really going to have to do more than this. And this is not a good feeling, because if I come around this corner, I'm going to take a broadside from a battleship, and that can go really poorly. But you hate to just watch a game tick away. You got 7 kills, you're thinking, I really want to win this one. So you got to go all in. Looks like he has managed to put out the fire, so we start another one. I continue to shoot HE. Not a great idea. We've only got 15 seconds. He gets his volley off. and it is painful. But we've survived. 5 seconds left. We've switched to the AP. Everything relies on this shot. And thankfully it lands. We managed to secure our 8th kill, run away with the victory. We make an obscene amount of money. Keep in mind, those experience totals are base experience times 1.5, plus all the flags and all the other stuff, but it's still an obscene amount of experience. There you see us on the top of the list with an absurd amount of base experience, 5,477. Now, obviously, I'm uploading this mostly so that I can remember that one day when I did really, really good. It's a weird feeling after you play this match and thinking, I may never play a game this well again. And there's still room for improvement because a lot of those shots are classic TacticAngel shots, meaning questionably aimed. So I hope you've enjoyed this replay. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.